Hello everyone, welcome in. So, today I have a little idea that I want to try out. The weather's starting to get really cold and I'm worried that I won't have enough time to be able to do some of the things I need to do. So what I'm trying to do is build a sluice box with scrap junk. And I'm not talking about a sluice box where people build a sluice box or some kind of sluice setup and it says $0 and then they go and use a giant machine that costs $4,000 or $5,000. That's not free. This is free. I think I paid like $12 for this about a year ago. It's a good little saw. Let me go ahead and I really enjoy it because when you open it, it's got a nice little curve to it. The teeth are doubled. And this particular one, I've seen a friend of mine take to a tree like that, and he only pulled back and forth about 3 times, and he had cut all the way through it, like butter. Now I'm hoping that I can use this little guy, because this is the only tool that I have, besides I have some rocks, and I've got a whole bunch of my agates and stuff from my other videos, which are harder than stone. I've got some big old chunky boys over here I could use. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one particular piece of wood. I've got this one here, and it's about I'd say it's about 5 feet long. It's pretty straight. It's kind of junk. The end of it was broken off. But this is going to be the bottom of our sluice box. Now, what I am also going to do is, I think I have like an old roll of duct tape around here somewhere. And I'm going to take that duct tape and I'm going to clean this off the best I can. And I'm going to stick the duct tape all the way across the entire thing to where it's a nice laminated sheet. And I think the duct tape I have, it's like that really thick old black Gorilla Glue tape. So it'll be a nice good surface for everything to roll over. Then I am going to take these little dowels and I'm going to cut them exactly to the shape to fit on here, and I'm going to mark it all the way down, going down. I'm probably going to put them about that far apart from one another. I'd say actually, let's go about that far apart. So we're going to go ahead and cut here, and then put another one here, and another one here, and another one. And this is going to go all the way down the entire piece. Now, obviously, there's a little bit of an issue here. Some of the dowel is missing, or was shaved off, or broke off, or whatever happened. But that's okay. Again, we are trying to do this as cheap as possible, okay? So whatever we have left over is also going to be used by this little dowel, which I also found. And then I am going to use this one here, which is going to be for the very top of it. I wanted to put a few like this, maybe about 2 or 3, to kind of help with some of the bigger rocks. And I'm going to try to see if I could angle them like this. So we're going to try it. For the sides of it, we have a couple of old, I think these are just the edges of the wall of an old house. Still has the nails in it, which means, hey, look, we get free nails. Then, I found another one. This one also has nails. Awesome. Now we have something to start the sides of our sluice box here. Okay? Then, after that, I had found a few more. They were kind of old beat up pieces. Some of them were very, very old. These were old and dusty, but they're nice and sturdy still. And they're not warped. And then I have these, which I was going to set along the inside here to kind of give the water a different type of ripple effect. And then I've got enough miner's moss to do about half of it in miner's moss. And then I found some old corrugated, or not corrugated, but the chicken wire. So we've got all of this, and I think I got a pair of clippers somewhere that I'm going to have to use, because this is still a little bit too big. I needed probably about that much, maybe about this much, because this is going to go over the entire surface of everything. This is going to be underneath it, then we're going to have our ripples, and what I'm going to do is I am going to try and figure out some kind of way, to put this in a position where it would be at enough of an angle, and it's not going to be like this, because God forbid I would never catch gold in that if I tried. But we are going to prop it up, and I've got a couple of these buckets, and I'm going to empty my agates out of that onto my pile, which, by the way, guys, that's how much I still have to cut through. You guys have been seeing me do all the work over here. That is how much I still have to cut through. This is like 2.5 to 3 years of agate collecting. This is everything. I mean, I've got all my stuff out here, you know, all my cool little pieces and designs. And anyways, so we're going to try to take that bucket over there, because that one broke on me. It weighed so much that when I tried to lift it up, it just snapped and crumbled. It's also very cold outside, so if I tried to pick that up, that would probably just... So I'm going to take all the rocks out of that one. And then we're going to put... I think what I might end up doing is I might end up putting this one up on top of my little deep freezer, because we don't need it right now. And I'm going to put a very, very small hole in the bottom of it, because I also got lucky and found this guy. This little guy right here is just an old little brass tubing for a for that guy. And propane heater. I apologize, I can't think of the words right now. So we're gonna stick this. We're gonna figure out a way to get that into that little hole over there. I'm gonna try to get just the simplest tools I can. I want to make this as cheap as possible. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up filling that up with water. This is going to be inside of it, and the valve still turns and opens up to release whatever's inside of there out. Then that'll be running water down here into the other bucket there. The other bucket, I'm going to have to figure out a way to make this drip or run onto the water in a way that it would work. Then what we're going to do is, I think I have an old piece of plastic tubing around here. Kind of similar to what you would see on the bottom that drains from my lapidary machine down into the buckets. Almost something similar to that. I just need a very thin amount of tubing. And that amount of tubing is going to go inside of this bucket, which is going to be full of water. And this is my dilemma. How do I get the water from there to up here? Well, if I'm using that small amount of a tube, and that's going there, I might be able to use my actual water pump, which is over there, and just stick it in there and stick the other end in the bucket, and it would be cycling the water, or circulating the water over time. Well, look, guys, this is my very, very first time trying to build this, and I am trying to build this from scratch, okay? I know the basic way that it works for the ripples, and I know that you want to have more of an incline so that when the water goes over, it creates a small little pocket, and the gold likes to get trapped up underneath the board, like as if you had the board here. You wouldn't want it flat. You would want it at a bit of an angle so that it creates this little pocket here, and the gold's going to get trapped right there. So that's the goal, is to try and build it that way. Again, I'm not the best at this, so look forward to the. By the way, no edits on this video at all, okay? This is just me trying to do a weird idea and seeing if it works. Because if it does work, I've got pay dirt that I have saved up from the claim, the gold claim that I am a part of the prospecting group. We're allowed to take home a bucket of pay dirt. And I am going to use some of that pay dirt. I actually have that whole bin out there is completely full of black sand and gold. But it is so fine, I can't catch it by simply just panning a little bit at a time because the black sand is so dense and thick. So I'm going to use this little weird design that I'm hoping will work. And it cost me absolutely nothing. It's just scraps that I found on the side of a construction site. The guys said that the scraps, I could use whatever I found in there. I got this one. I got some little bits of board. This was my own personal mat, which I'm going to cut in half, and it'll fit perfectly right down the middle of this. I've got my my chicken wire mesh that is going to go over everything, which I am going to break down probably into little sections here and just break it down and fill it all the way across. We are going to see if I can capture gold with this. Look forward to part 2. Wish me luck.